Slippers unite, it's time to play. We bring the spice to your work or your day. Confessions, debates, and a product or two. We slip it in just for you. You'll laugh, you'll cringe, you'll beg.
Welcome, 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 everyone. We are back, slipping it in with you. I'm Megan, and I'm here with Matty and JJ.
Hello.
Hello.
We are coming to you from the banks of the Au Sable River in northern Michigan. And we have a few special guests with us today to celebrate America 250. So we have Melissa back with us again, almost 1 year later from her initial appearance on the pod. As our regular slippers know, she is our West Michigan correspondent.
Well, air quotes.
Yes, I should qualify it. So welcome.
What I realized when I auditioned, when I sent in my application for the role,
Never got it.
well, I proposed that being a position for me until I realized how much effort it would take to be a correspondent. And then I decided, no, it's not for me.
No.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. You guys go through a lot of work and I'm not interested.
I mean, we would feed you headlines of things
you'd
happening
send
in
them
your
all the
city.
time. You were
And you're like,
encouraging me.
I don't,
I know.
I
I'm
can't go out
watching,
today.
like Game of Thrones. Like sorry. So
But-
I did fail.
but
with
you
that.
were
But thanks for
here-
having me back, and I love to just be a guest star every once in a while. I
You were a
appreciate it.
part of one of our most iconic apps, I would dare say, which is Pigs Gotta Eat. It's in our library. We're back in the Au Sable, and the Duvall brothers
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Big story.
Big
Very
story.
big story.
killed a couple other men that were deer hunters and then fed them to the pigs, allegedly.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to that up, and then we've got some true crime coming into this one. We'll get there.
There is a mystery
There's a mystery.
brewing.
There is a mystery.
Yeah.
But anyway, so look it up. We won't go into the details. But yeah, you were part of that, Melissa.
Thanks for having me back.
And can I ask, have your nuts changed?
Absolutely not.
Your nuts are
No, not change.
all
the
same.
same.
1,
Yep.
2, 3 nuts.
You know what? I checked this morning. My nuts, they're still there. Not
Well,
changed.
that's
No
good.
other change.
That's good.
What?
Maybe a mosquito bite here and there,
Yeah,
but that's
she
about
is
it.
loyal to.
news.
Yes,
news.
Denise said
You're loyal to your nuts.
she.
I
Yeah,
am.
she's a diehard nut.
Yep.
Okay, well, Miss Megan,
Yes.
tell the folks who else is with us besides our Michigan correspondent.
Well, we also have Kyle and Denise here with us from Savannah,
Savannah
Georgia.
represented.
Thank you. Super excited to be on the show.
Yes, happy to have you.
Really
And this really
excited.
takes us back to the first episode that we launched. We really launched it when we went to visit you guys.
In
So, I mean,
Savannah.
And the 912.
and the
And the
912.
912. We did not
912.
record
What is
there.
912?
I'm assuming
912 is the area
Okay,
code.
area code, and that's what people in Savannah say. I'm
The
from the
912.
912. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
really? This is why she
News to
didn't
me.
get the job. This is why. But we didn't really record in Savannah, but we
launched it.
We hit launch, publish our very first one. Do you guys know that?
Yes.
feel honored.
Should.
I don't think I remember.
Okay. Well,
We were
there's
all
reason.
together,
We'll
Kyle,
get
and
into
we
that.
listened to it together.
Okay. So yeah, sorry. Go ahead. So Denise and Kyle, have we said their names?
Yeah,
Yes.
she did.
Okay.
Well,
Hello.
Melissa told us about her nuts not being changed, but we are curious, as
Excited
we
to be
always
here
ask,
again.
Okay. Okay.
as we
okay.
always ask our guests, what are your top 3 nuts?
All right. I'm not really a big nut eater, but if I had to go with 3, I would go with walnuts.
as a nut, as your favorite nut. This is yeah.
Well,
If you went to the store, you had a nut craving, you went to the store, you would get a walnut?
no, I get
As your-
pistachios.
Well,
Wait, maybe you don't.
that is not your favorite
all right.
nut.
Yes.
So I didn't know.
Maybe you
we
don't
were.
understand the rules.
I didn't know we were ranking them in order, but I would go with pistachios because that's like my everyday nut if I'm going to eat a nut. And then
Yeah.
I would go almonds because when I go hiking,
Oh,
I
it's
usually
not
have
even
a
a second.
bag of almonds.
No. So walnut is not even 1 or 2.
And then walnut would be my third because my grandfather used to eat maple walnut ice
there's
cream.
A nostalgic,
So yes,
a
nostalgia.
nostalgic nut.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that if I recount, I might have a nostalgic nut before.
You love the references.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Denise, what are your top 3 nuts?
So my top nuts are pistachios, macadamia.
Love me a
And
macadamia.
a cookie?
However,
So good.
it's not
Chewy
in my
cookie?
top 3, but if you put it in a cookie,
Love it.
skyrockets.
Love it.
Are you cookie or just handful?
Both.
Oh,
I love
you
a
love
handful. I love a cookie.
macadamia.
I love a mouthful.
Oh.
Well, okay. Well, they're catching
I thought
on.
it was
We definitely do.
macadamian.
And
this
I love-
my whole
I love
life, I thought it was
peanuts. What?
macadamian, like a
No.
macadamian with an N at the end. I didn't know it was
No.
macadamia.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
It
like
is.
I
mozzarella.
did not know
Good
that.
thing
New
we
Jersey, they
vetted
say
her. Good
mozzarella.
thing we vetted her.
Yeah.
I'm not even
And
sure.
you have a third nut, no?
I love peanuts.
Oh, the lonely
and the
horror of the
peanut,
peanut.
according to Anderson Cooper.
I like
Yeah.
them salty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like them roasted.
Mm.
Yep.
Yes.
Me too.
Insert some ASMR. Okay, we got their nuts
Yes.
out of the way.
So let's get into kind of how we met you guys and know each other.
Sure. So I had a good friend that used to live in Savannah and he got a new job in the Detroit area. And in 2012, I came to visit him for the first time. It was my first time ever in Michigan too. So on that, I flew in on a Friday, and on the Saturday, Michigan State was playing Notre Dame, and I'm a big Notre Dame fan.
Okay.
So we went to the game. So we were supposed to tailgate with my friends' friends, but on Friday, we got a little carried away at a bar called the Oakland,
Okay.
Mhm.
and we didn't quite fill up to tailgating, so we showed up a little bit later. So the following day on the Sunday, I finally
Oh, so you didn't
met.
make it at all.
We made it to the game, but it already started.
Okay.
So we made it within the first quarter of the game.
Okay.
But there was no tailgating, and I don't think there was any drinking either
And we were there
whatsoever.
a bunch of us tailgating, and they were supposed to show up. We kept texting, like, what's going on? Are you coming? Are you, what's happening? Never appeared, never showed. So we packed up and left. We were
Oh.
just tailgating that
So on the Sunday,
day. Yeah.
You did Sunday Fun Day?
we did Sunday Fun Day. We met in Detroit. I think we met in Corktown.
Yes. Mhm.
We met there, and that's when I met Meghan for the first time,
Nice.
and some others. And then Matty and JJ, I met them in St. Patrick's Day Parade 2013, also in Corktown.
Yes.
met. Yep.
Yeah. After we did the 5K.
I was there.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Was I there for this meeting?
You may not remember, but you were there.
Yeah. We were
Oh,
we were at
back-
Slows.
Back when I ran.
We went to Slows barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah. in
Yeah,
Corktown.
and if you guys have never done St. Patrick's Day in Detroit, it's a lot of fun. It's a
It
lot of
is.
fun.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Corktown
in
Parade.
Detroit, the big day is the Saturday before St. Patrick's Day. That's when they do the big St. Patrick's Day parade. They do a 5K, and Corktown is the Irish part of Detroit.
Yeah.
So it's all sorts of craziness, and it's very, very fun.
Yeah.
And
you
then-
usually want to make sure and proactively take Monday off.
Yes,
Do you want
it's a
to?
good idea. Yes.
Yeah. Whenever
You
you're
get the
doing
date right of
If-
when the
Yeah, that shade. Throwing
whenever
shade.
you're doing a Sunday Fun Day or even a Saucy Saturday, like Monday needs to be.
Well, it used to be I had to take Monday off for a Sunday fun day. Now I have to take Mondays off for saucy Saturdays as well
Oh
because
my
it's the
God.
recovery.
I can't.
The
It's too
recovery is
much.
real.
It's
I
too
can't
much.
with
It's
you.
real. It's real.
Yeah.
So after my 2012 trip, my first trip to Michigan, it turned into probably like 50 to 80 trips after that. And in 2018, in June, I believe, I met Melissa.
Ah.
We went boating on Spring Lake that
Yeah.
goes
Spring
out
Lake
into
and
Lake Michigan,
Yep.
Mhm.
and had a blast. And then we became good friends after that.
Did you go there with like your
On
your
my
family
boat,
and your
yep.
boat? Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Was
Yeah.
Matt there that day?
So
or was
many
it just
stories
Was I
there.
there?
I remember
I
Brian.
there?
I remember. No, I don't remember Matt
Was
there.
Brian?
I
Mm,
think he
the
was.
doctor?
No, I was not there. No, I know that.
No,
for-
No.
JJ wasn't. No.
Maybe it was just me and you,
Yeah,
Megan.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if we want to
Okay.
keep going with it, I met Denise at a party in Vail.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where we really need to.
And
get
that
into
was
this
was that
whole thing.
love at first sight, Denise?
It was
It was a connection.
Okay.
But we were both. I was in and out in like 48 hours, and
Of what?
it was a connection. The
Oh.
visit.
Of Vail.
Yeah. So one of my best friends from college invited me to a weekend in Vail, and she didn't tell me or the guys that she invited two other guys,
Single.
to set us to
Oh,
figure out.
It was a setup,
It was
kind
a
of.
setup, and it was like, Denise, you have a choice.
It was a
kind of thing.
competition.
It was a competition.
Oh.
Thank you.
They had one guy
Did
coming
you
from
know?
Dallas, and they had me coming from Savannah.
Kyle,
Oh,
did
wow.
you know, or you didn't know either?
No.
You didn't.
No. So then there was a click, but then 7 months later we got together, and it was crazy magic.
You know,
Oh.
Donkey Kong.
And then
Oh.
it's 7 years later. There's no itching.
Wow.
No, it's great.
One thing that I'm sure that he's told you before, but one thing that we've had plenty of conversations while we always come here. This has been kind of a tradition for all of us to come in to the Au Sable River around the 4th of July. And he didn't have to tell me that, but you could tell that you don't just love each other, but you like each other. You like each other's company. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's my best friend.
Yeah, I would say the same,
Aw.
right? And I'd say that's different from what I've had in the past. But
We don't have time for that.
What is important?
Yeah, for sure. You two are just, yeah. You
Hey,
can see it in everything you do. You guys are best friends.
For
I love
I
that.
know we're gonna get a lot of fan mail about this. Can you, for our listeners, tell them what your accent is?
Oh,
Northeast Georgia.
yeah.
Northeast Georgia.
I was born in Rhode Island.
Yeah, from the Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
and absolutely. Representing.
I love it so much.
That's a 401.
The four.
The 401.
He parks the car.
He parks the car.
Yeah, so I left in 2002, and apparently the accent didn't go away.
We love it.
I know,
We love
Kyle.
it.
I know a thing or two about accents, so we're good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Look at this.
He doesn't like Dunkin'.
No,
Well,
The
I'm
smell
not-
of
What's
it makes
Dunkin'?
me nauseous.
Dunkin's like a serious
Really?
Northeast. Like
Yes.
Dunkin' is the coffee for the Northeast.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, Dunkin'.
Yeah,
God, we are.
for New England.
We are.
well,
on
you have to
set.
share with her.
Sorry.
You promised you were gonna share
I
your
am.
mic, but you're just holding that mic like
But
nobody's business.
But when her and I are having a conversation, I'm on.
you have to do a
I'm-
little Oprah moment.
It's just the main
we have them in
donut
Michigan.
chain, and it started in New England. I believe it started in Massachusetts.
We know what
No, I
Dunkin'
mean,
is.
it's like the love
But
of
why
the
do you hate Dunkin'?
Well, which one do you want me to explain? Why New Englanders like Dunkin'
Yes.
or why I don't like Dunkin'?
Both.
I think New Englanders like Dunkin' because it was forced on them.
Are we
Oh.
fucking talking about Dunkin' Donuts?
We are.
Okay, we all know what this is.
Well, we want to know why Kyle dislikes Dunkin'. That's what I want.
Probably for the same reason, because it was forced on me.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
The
Forced.
smell makes me want
It
to
was
throw up.
forced.
It was forced on him.
And I will say it is
Forced.
like an East.
I love it.
It is an East Coast thing, like how Ben Affleck and Matt Damon do those Dunkin' commercials. For
Which
the
I love
Super
those
Bowl.
commercials.
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't love Ben Affleck
And the Saturday Night Live stuff.
and Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I will say, from a like food drink perspective, Dunkin' is really not that great.
Agreed.
You know, he agrees.
Shots have been fired.
That's all I had to say.
So, Matt, you have some facts about the river that we
yes.
are in.
Thank you, JJ. So I like to make sure that if when we go out on location and shoot the pod, I give a little nod to the area that we're shooting in. And so, as mentioned earlier, we have been here and did an episode previously with Melissa, and we focused on Pigs Gotta Eat. And so, Grayling, in that moment, I guess we didn't give it its finest moment because it was about two men killing two other men and feeding them to the pigs. Well,
Yeah.
all right. So I got something this time that's a little bit more just interesting in general. So Grayling was originally called Crawford,
Oh, wow.
which is now Crawford County, right? Again, we talked about this
Correct.
yesterday. So
Yes.
Crawford County, but like the city was actually called Crawford, but in 1874 there were fishermen on the Au Sable and they caught this fish, and nobody knew what the fish was. They sent these fish to Washington, D.C.,
Oh, wow.
and they studied the
to
fish.
the White
and-
House?
Well, times were different. Okay. And
Ship the fish.
yeah. And at that in 1874, they're like, we got nothing to do. Let's check these fish.
Yeah. From the
It-
Au Sable River?
It,
I'm in.
it turned out that the fish were graylings.
Okay.
So then they named by God, we're calling that place Grayling.
Yeah. So from Crawford went into Grayling.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But the kicker is in this takes a turn. 1936.
Oh, wow. I feel
After
like I'm in a
extreme
history.
logging, overfishing, and somebody had introduced brown trout into the stream, which put pressure on the graylings, the graylings disappeared. So now there are no graylings in Au Sable, yet the name has persisted. And apparently these graylings can only live in 3 United States. One is Alaska,
Wow.
one is Montana, and the third is Michigan. And they still are thriving and aliving in Alaska and Montana. And there is a group trying to reintroduce them.
A cult.
No, these people are up to good stuff, JJ. They're trying to reintroduce the graylings into the Au Sable. So in a future episode, we'll keep an update on this.
So what would be different this time around if there's still trout in the river? Wouldn't the
The
same thing
brown
happen?
trout.
Well,
Good
I'm
question.
that is a great question. And I'm not sure. I just feel like the trout are going to have to behave.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, the grayling really ghosted the trout, and they're like, "It's not you, it's us."
Well, I think the trout came in like bullies, and now they're going to have to get along. And they're
Yeah.
just be like, listen, there's room enough. You know what? There's room enough for us all.
Yeah. Yeah. There
okay.
is true.
Tell that to the animals in the Everglades when the python got
Oh.
introduced.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
well, all right.
I do.
That's a good fact, though.
That's
I
a
like
nice
it.
story.
Yeah,
It's like that
it's fun.
Grayling story. That's
Yeah.
right. I,
I
like it.
still think there's a couple of graylings still in the undergrounds
Oh.
around here. And they're like, we're still here.
Yeah.
We're just self-populating.
We're back.
Yeah.
I would like to comment that it is pronounced Au Sable,
Oh,
not Au Sable. I don't know. You're saying something,
I'm saying Au Sable.
and that's not correct.
Au Sable?
No.
What is it?
Au Sable.
Au
Au
Sable.
Sable.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And it is one of the top fly fishing rivers in the country.
Yeah, you
is.
commented that when
Yes.
we were in the
So
episode.
if you're into fly fishing, you probably already know about it.
Just don't come thinking you're catching a grayling.
No,
Yes.
that's not happening.
It's about trout.
And the canoeing, right?
Well, there is a big
race,
24-hour
yeah.
canoe race, which is one of the few, if maybe only in the country, where they start and they literally canoe all night long, all day long in the ground, in the dark with like
Yeah.
little lights or with no light.
And can I just say that your family's place on this river for all these years, I came up when I was a little girl with Meghan to her grandparents' house, and now her family has built another home. It's absolutely beautiful. And
Yeah,
I wouldn't
so
trade
peaceful, so
coming
nice.
up here for anything. So thank
Oh,
you,
good.
Meghan,
Yes.
for always having us up
We
here.
They have
love it.
nice furniture and stuff, but you got to keep your eye on it.
Well, that's very true. I was all aflutter the other morning because I came out and we have new black plastic Adirondack chairs that we got from Target this year. And I got this foldable wood table from Aldi and I had them on the dock, and a chair and the table were missing.
Yeah.
So I was adamant that there had been a theft on the river.
Until JJ wakes up.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold on, though. There was a thunderstorm, a brewing, a
Correct.
literal thunderstorm the night before
Before.
they went missing,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is an important character in the story because this is why this chair probably and this table blew off.
Yeah, because
Into the water.
I woke up to the
Correct.
whole.
initial liftoff. I agree.
Yeah.
Probably.
I woke up to the whole fluster, and obviously, as we've known and the slip it in, Meghan was already surmising on what the story was behind the chairs.
Oh yes, there was there was an alert.
And I immediately went into that. I don't think that is the case. You didn't experience the storm that Matty and I, because Matty and I came in earlier, and one of the biggest chairs was moving. The wind was crazy, and I'm like, I went on a mission with Megan's dog that he was very excited about. I went in a trail, and I'm like, poking through the water, I could see the corner of the chair, and I just immediately came back and said, the chair is well and alive. I could not see the table, but the chair was there.
Yes.
What was her original theory?
Can you imagine?
Somebody came and stole the chair off her desk.
Kyle,
By
you know
kayak
her.
or canoe?
Correct.
Well, it would have to
A little bit of a deliverance
Correct.
moment there.
There we go.
100%.
It would have
Well,
taken 2.
Fast forward, JJ went to go retrieve the chair.
A day after.
And he had a run-in with the neighbors across the river.
Yes, and she immediately
Like
was
a positive run-in. You make it sound like it's
You make it sound suspicious.
Well, it was-
and it was
I would-
friendly and pleasant.
It was very
Let's
interesting.
Talk about the facts.
Yeah,
JJ.
it was very interesting because as I was clearly looking for something,
Yes.
because I went on a mission. I went on a trail. I saw it from the trail, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in the water. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna retrieve that chair.
Yep.
There was nowhere to be found. Like, it was not poking through anymore. So I thought, I mean, we had more rain, so I thought, okay, maybe it's something. I mean, it's still like on the bottom of the water. There was nowhere to be found. I was looking for it clearly, and here comes our neighbor, and she immediately came in and she asked me, like, are you guys renting there? And I
Key
said,
point.
not really.
She wants to know if we're going to be around or we'll be leaving.
Or she's just being a kind human being.
Well,
so she asked me
continue.
if we were renting. I said, no, this is a family cabin. I'm here with my best friend. And she immediately went into, I wish I would have known, because I saw the kayakers snatch your chair from the river. And they immediately said, oh, that's such a nice chair. Let's just take it.
But all they
How did she hear them say,
Well,
oh, that's
correct.
chair.
Correct, Melissa.
Melissa,
And-
don't give her
and
any.
all that was sticking out was just the top of it, like
There was a
little
corner,
black,
like a little corner.
a
Yeah.
little black corner. So you couldn't see the cup holders, the phone
No.
holders, or any of the other
This
like things
was
that
a
make it nice.
$24 plastic chair.
$25. Maddie.
25.
Okay. $25 plastic
But
chair.
From
it's-
Target, so it has a little style.
Non-spawn.
They look
The funny thing,
$75
though,
chairs,
the
just for
funny-
record.
What?
They look like $75 chairs
Yes.
for the record.
Yeah.
The funny thing about the
True.
end of the story and my interaction with our neighbor is like, so I am Mrs. So-and-so. And immediately her son was right next to her. And he's like, and I am the one that's always yelling. And she was like, you are a piece of work. That's who you are.
Yes. Well, and we heard that son last year.
So, Megan,
Yeah,
what?
we
Oh,
do
you're-
know about the yelling.
Yeah.
Well,
and
let's-
the piece of work.
Yeah.
Megan, why don't you tell our listeners what this neighbor now you think is guilty of?
Now this isn't our next door neighbor. They're across the river and downstream a bit, but we can kind of
But
see
you
them.
know them. So don't say they're not your neighbor. They're your
Okay.
neighbor across the river.
I'm
You've
just
known
making
them for
people
years.
know that
Okay.
they're not like next door.
Well, how long do you think they lived there?
I mean, they've been there like through families and things for years.
For generations.
Right.
Yes.
So
And
they're not just random.
But
and a
we're
neighbor
not-
doesn't have to live
And
next
so you
door.
guys know you can see their house
Yeah,
from
100%.
both
Correct.
properties.
We can actually listen
Yeah.
to them.
We can hear and see them, and they
I can
hear
see
and
them
see us.
right now.
Yes.
I can see
Yeah.
them right
But-
now.
Yeah.
I think
Here we
personally,
go. Buckle
they
up.
saw some shenanigans sticking out of the river and they went and got it. Because how does a kayaker say, she said, oh, the kayakers were kayaking by and said, oh, that looks like a nice chair, when only a little black corner was sticking out of the river. And then they stopped and pulled
Just
it out.
FYI, I was the only one. I was the only witness of the corner. So
Yes, correct.
nobody knows how much was
Yes.
sticking out.
And I'm listening to your facts, and
I
I
know.
questioned
I hear
you,
you.
and you said, JJ, to
Yeah,
be
it was
clear,
just
It
The
was
corner.
a little corner. You couldn't even see that it was
But
a
a
chair.
kayaker would
but
see
a
it
kayaker
before.
would be right on
Correct.
top of it and look down. They might have even picked it up and said, "Oh, this looks
Yeah.
nice."
I'm just going off how she presented it to JJ.
Yeah, and I do also think that Matty has a very valid point. As if you were to be the kayaker.
If you were the kayaker, where the chair was located was not in front of anyone's specific property. I give you the fact that there's 5 other chairs that are similar here. But like if you're going
Right
by,
on the dock.
7.
but hold
7.
on though. Jesus. Hold on though. Like I am not going by people's house looking at their patio furniture and counting them, and then I get 300 feet further and be like, oh, that's their missing set piece. Like, no. I am finding a chair in the river that then I'm like, well, part of my responsibility as somebody who enjoys nature is to help keep the river clean. So I'm going to grab it. I don't know who to give it to. Honest to God, they're not going to remember like 300 feet prior, those had matching chairs. I'm going to just take it with me, a good find, and I'm cleaning the river.
I'm cleaning the river.
I
That's the
agree.
part that I feel that it's valid. I would have probably done the same thing. We're all very conscious of our like the nature and everything. I would have probably
My dad used to say, "Why ruin a good story for the truth?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
there you
Thank
go.
you.
So Megan's neighbors have stolen her chair. And
Well,
every night we go to bed,
okay, I
another
think
one
we-
is going to turn
I
up
don't
missing.
think-
Because now she's on the hunt for a set.
They
Yes.
want that one odd chair that costs $25.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
But let me
it was cheaper. Now it's
Yes.
25.
let me tell you, I plan to keep an eye out on their property because I think they have it back there, and we're going to wait till we're not
Cameras.
around to
Need
bring it
cameras.
out to you.
Well, Megan, I did bring my binocs.
Yes, so we can monitor. I don't think it's going to be seen this weekend, but
No.
I'll be back in a few weeks, and
Yeah.
I will be
Oh, right when
looking.
they let their guard down.
Cameras.
Correct.
Yeah,
some
it's just- we
cameras.
can install some cameras.
You can talk to Kyle about
Yes,
that.
there may have been a river crime, and
That's
until I feel confident that there wasn't, which means I never see the chair over there,
You
then
good?
I do feel you're outnumbered here, but I don't think. Do you guys think?
I think
can we
we
do
had-
a quick? Does anyone here think that the neighbors have stolen that chair?
No,
No.
I'm Switzerland.
Oh, Swiss.
Oh, wow.
I
I'm a no.
do not think that they have it, but I think that there is a neighbor that we're gonna see further down with it.
maybe.
Yeah.
All right,
I
let's.
think we had enough of the
Matty,
story.
Let's-
yes.
I'm a hard no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm a hard
Okay.
no.
Let's just move on.
Yes. Well, so you may or may not have noticed some of us are drinking a little
Mm.
rosé today.
In a very fancy glass.
Oh, somebody already drank hers, but she loved it. She loved it. She loved it.
So
Cheers, Denise.
it's a very special rosé.
It is a very special one.
maybe should I say a Sussex?
Yes.
So we are sampling today the As Ever Rosé, as well as we also sampled at breakfast the As Ever Raspberry Spread and Strawberry Spread.
Yeah.
So all
Is this part of it?
and yep.
I can show these edible
Yep.
sprinkles.
We
Yeah,
also had a little
flowers.
sampling of the flower sprinkles.
Yeah.
So
So chic.
yes. So let's talk about the tea. So these are for
Oh,
anyone
it's
who
magnetic. It picks up my phone.
Well, it's a metal container. It's a metal container. So yeah.
I love
I
it
would say
already.
yes.
I love it already.
Yeah.
So everyone knows I'm a fan of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, otherwise known as Meghan Sussex now.
Mhm.
And Meghan has, anyone who's watched her Netflix shows, she has an As Ever line.
Yeah.
And it's a line of kind of pantry staples along with some wines. We have the As Ever Rosé, which is really great. The raspberry spread, the strawberry spread, and the floral sprinkles. So I really love the raspberry spread. It's rich and tart, but it has a little lemony taste to it that you don't normally find in a traditional raspberry jam. It
Mhm.
also has less sugar than your standard jams. So it's perfect if you want to try to stay healthy, but you still want a little sweetness, but you don't want to get too crazy with your sugars. So what did everyone think of the raspberry
To
spread?
quote the great RuPaul,
Oh,
Oh boy.
look at that.
I thought it was jelly and not jam because
Oh.
there is a very famous song from RuPaul that says it must be jelly because jam don't shake. And it was a little shaky. So I was a little watery, but I do have to say that the taste is very natural forward.
Mhm.
And I think Denise was the one we were talking about it.
Yeah, it was nice and tart.
The tartness of it, I think that is what did it for me. If you can
Yes.
just give the mic to Denise.
Oh, yeah, I love the tartness. I like the consistency.
Yeah.
I
You
don't like a
did.
lot of sugar. I don't like a lot of sweet. I thought it was
Correct,
kind
yep.
of perfect. And I loved the raspberry and the strawberry.
Yeah. I am a big strawberry aficionado. So the strawberry was like my favorite, 100%.
I am not a big jelly or jam person. So it tasted like any other raspberry or strawberry jam or jelly I've
Really?
ever had.
Wah, wah,
I
wah.
highly disagree with that. I think
It is.
Yeah.
And here she comes. So she
For a
doesn't like when
second,
she call her. We
If
call
you
her
don't
that.
like it, what are you measuring it against?
Yeah.
There we go.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm saying
You didn't
it
have
tasted
nothing to
like
compare
a
to.
strawberry and a raspberry jam that I've had numerous times in my life.
And I agree.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Well-
and you're not getting yelled at for being a down.
No,
Well,
I think the
I
reality.
love you, Melissa. I would never
No.
If you're not kind of more along the lines of a jam aficionado,
Oh,
And that's what I said.
Oh.
I don't eat a jam
Yeah.
or a jelly very often.
Same here.
It's like any other
Yeah.
jam or jelly.
tell
I've
us,
ever
Kyle. Tell
Jam is like nuts. I very seldom have it.
Words of wisdom from
wow.
Kyle.
Wow. Put that on a card and a
Yeah.
poster.
Right.
I want that
Put
T-shirt.
that on a shirt.
But it's a tasty jam.
Yeah.
I just can't tell the difference between that jam and other jams.
Well, do you have a nostalgia jam?
That would be jelly.
All I'm trying to
Oh,
say
really?
is
Yeah.
if you're all saying you don't taste that stuff often, why are you qualified to
Yeah.
kind of
Oh.
Who,
make the
me?
determination? I'm just, you know.
I'm not.
I
I'm not an
thought we were
aficionado.
going around the room. If I would have known that I had to be qualified, I would have said, no, I'm not qualified to judge.
Does anyone here,
'Cause
for
I'm
our
not.
listeners, are they able to say what is different between a jelly and a jam?
I can 100%.
Okay, the aficionado can.
Well, I'll let Meghan because she'll be the correct answer.
Well,
and I
you
won't
say
be.
it, Melissa, if you think
Well,
you know.
Jelly
Oh.
is just like a jiggly
Oh, Lord.
whatever. A jam actually is like the preserve and like the seeds
So a
and everything.
jelly is a
from
jiggly
jam.
whatever. That's great.
Well,
That's
jelly
clearing
doesn't
it
have
up
the
for people.
seeds and the actual
Correct.
like fruit broken down in it. It's just like a
Correct.
flavor.
I did think it had a seed.
Jelly is what you're gonna see at
I
National Coney Island for the in a kind of a deli type of breakfast place. It's
And-
just a little.
So jam is healthier?
I
feel
think so. But Meghan will tell us.
Yes. So jelly only has fruit juice in it, whereas jam's actually made from the
preserves.
crushed or pureed.
Google
fruit
has been
itself.
activated. I can see her computer.
So-
Google has been activated.
Well, I did Google, so I was appropriately
Right, no.
talking about jelly. So jelly doesn't have seeds or anything like that in it. I personally don't like a jelly consistency, so I'm a jam preserve girl.
I have a complicated relationship with raspberries. So I like them, but raspberries and I don't, I've said it before. I'll say it
Yeah.
again. I don't like a hairy berry.
Oh my God, I can't. So
I like
And
them.
It's
I
true.
like them. Do we have prices?
yes, so let the raspberry spread and the strawberry spread are $12 on the As Ever website, or you can get them in a collectible like tin or box, and that's $15. The flour sprinkles are $15, and they're edible, but they're great.
Did
to-
anyone try these? Oh, it stuck to my phone.
They're great to sprinkle on over salads, cupcakes, avocado toast, cocktails, or
I'm gonna-
desserts.
I
Can
would
I
even put
say-
it in a little topper
I
for the
don't-
rosé. Like
And
if
they're
you're having brunch.
Correct. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it just
I don't
adds
like it.
a little
I don't
fun.
like, no offense to this particular product. In general, I don't, the concept of edible flowers, I'm out.
Oh, see, I love an edible flower.
I'm out.
And I love that you can just add a little fun to your party, your event, your lunch, your breakfast.
There you go.
So the other thing that we haven't really gotten into is the rosé wine. It is crisp, it's light, it's very easy to drink. It's perfect for a summer patio. It's a great porch wine.
Here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
May I have some more?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, her glass be empty.
Yes. Girls' night, brunch, whatever. It's a little fruit forward, but it's not overly sweet, and it's a solid crowd
Just
pleaser.
like JJ.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be your if you're a total wine connoisseur, but to me, it's that easy drinkable rosé that I'm always looking for.
Very refreshing.
And it's as ever rosé. It's from Napa Valley. All the grapes are from Napa Valley, and it retails for $30 per bottle. But I have to tell you, you can't buy just one. You have to buy them in a 3-pack.
Oh,
And there's
wow.
a $20 flat rate shipping
Well,
fee.
slip-ins and pillows are coming
wow.
up, so
It's going
might be a
from
pull.
worse to worse.
Well, but I will say that's pretty standard. I order a lot of wine from Napa, and that's kind of standard
yeah.
with the
You
flat
do?
rate shipping. Yeah. Well, I'm in a wine club.
Yes,
so my
that's
wine
why.
all comes
Yeah.
from Napa.
Mhm.
All right, sorry.
Awesome. I love it. 100%. It'll
All
be
right.
in our
Buy
link tree.
European wines?
What?
You don't buy European wines?
I'm a very American wine girl. I love my California wine, my Oregon wine. Like, I'm very comfortable in that realm. It gets dicey for me
Washington State.
when I like Washington State wine, but I'm much more because I've gone to Napa
Grayling
many
wine.
times.
Grayling.
There's no wine in
Oh.
Grayling. I've gone to Napa many
Seems
times
like a bad
as well
idea.
as Oregon.
Yeah.
And so I can talk the wine. I know the wine. I can figure out what's good and bad and what I'll like.
Denise and
I
Kyle,
respect that.
are you wine drinkers? Where do you get your wine?
Oh,
So, like the nuts and the jam, I do not drink wine.
oh. Well, we
Denise.
all know.
What do I drink, Maddie?
Yeah,
Uh,
what does
I
what does
mean-
Kyle drink
Ooh,
then?
yeah.
Vodka water. It's just like
he likes the more concentrated versions.
vodka.
Kirkland.
Vodka with no mixer. Well, a chaser
There
of
is a chaser of
Diet
Diet
Pepsi.
This is true.
Is that right? I don't want to paint an incorrect picture of
I
my
also
guess.
drink bourbon and tequila.
Okay. So
Okay.
the hard stuff.
I call him a bourbon connoisseur.
Oh,
Oh, a
there we
bourbon
go.
connoisseur.
Yeah, if we're gonna
Wow.
put a label on that one.
I have talked about you, Kyle, to my friends and said, I am friends with the most impressive drinker of straight vodka I know. He can drink a full bottle of Kirkland vodka, and the next morning he's up,
Goals.
ready to go.
And a hoodie.
Goals and aspirations.
Preferable.
Well, I think I'm sure that someone's spulling it out, and we'll get there. I'm sure. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah,
Speaking
it is
of,
time. It is time.
okay, maybe we need to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Are we getting
Okay.
to slip it in and pull it out?
We are. We are at.
Oh,
We are
I've been
there.
waiting. I've been counting
We are
down
there.
for this.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Who's going first?
I can go
Kyle?
first.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, can I have multiples?
Yeah.
what do you
whatever
mean?
want.
Well, yeah, sure. It's our 250th
Yes.
for our country. Do what you want.
All right. So, Team USA
Oh.
winning and all of us watching it together
Is
is
this
a
slip it
definitely
in?
slip it in.
Nice.
Another
what-
one I would say is just hanging out with my
US
friends.
US men national team.
Yes, of
And
course.
you're saying,
Yes.
was Megan watching it with us?
Wait, let's just stop for a moment because I don't think everyone knows really what you're talking about. You're talking about World Cup soccer, correct?
Well, if we're talking about Team USA, I think everybody knows we're probably talking about the men's soccer right now.
Okay,
World Cup.
no. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
the World
most
Cup.
people wouldn't
World Cup.
necessarily know. Yeah.
World Cup.
I think we have to clarify what it was.
Yes.
I think most people know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So what's your next slip it in? You said you had more
My
than
next
one.
one would be just hanging out with you guys, just hanging out with my
Aw.
friends. We probably see each other 2 or 3 times a year, but there is something magical about coming to this cabin. I've been coming for like the last 10 or 11 years now, and it's just always a lot of fun. And it's just always a lot of laughter.
I'm
Nice.
a little newer to the equation, and I'm gonna say I 100% agree. And it's not just here; it's wherever we get together. I love you guys.
It is. Oh.
Yeah.
much fun.
You're in the
Wonderful.
2-time cabin club.
Oh, I love that.
yes.
Sweet.
Wait,
Absolutely.
you have a pull it out, right?
I do. It's probably where I'm lodging. I'm lodging in a bedroom that's probably 150 degrees. And to try to get a breeze, we have to keep the windows open, which means as soon as the sun comes up, guess who's up? And guess
Kyle.
who? And everybody else is sleeping for another 3 hours.
Can I say something? I empathize with you. However, when you are up and you're outside and I find you outdoors, you are wearing wool socks, a hooded sweatshirt, a fleece lined pants, and a wool hat. And so in my mind, I'm like, that's the perfect bedroom for him. Because when he's out of the bedroom, he wants back in. He wants that feeling. Am I wrong? Am I making it up?
You're not making it up.
Okay. This outfit is
You
very
stole
January,
my
December.
slip it in, Matt.
Well, sorry.
I love me a hoodie. I love me some slippers.
And wool socks with Sherpa
So wouldn't
slippers.
you think
Yes.
this room, why do you hate the room if you like the heat?
Because when I sleep, I like it cold and I like to have the least amount of clothes on other than socks.
Okay.
I do have those wool socks on when I sleep.
Oh, well, that's the big problem right there. I think
You're
if you took
sleeping
them
in
off,
those wool socks?
you would feel much cooler.
Megan,
Oh,
I
Kyle.
guarantee you the socks are not the problem.
Well, I will say heat leaves your feet. So you should try it tonight. I would recommend taking those wools off.
I can't with you. I didn't know you were sleeping with those socks.
Sometimes just the socks.
Well, take them
Ooh.
off.
Yes.
I don't know about that. I don't want my toes exposed.
Okay, so are you done? That was your pull it out.
I am done.
Okay. My slip it in, which Matt kind of
I'm sorry.
jumped on. That's totally fine. So I came a day after Kyle and Denise arrived in Meghan, which was 2 days after JJ and Matt arrived. And when I woke up the next morning, came out, I could see Kyle out on the dock on the river. And it was, it's fairly humid. It's the 4th of July in Michigan.
It's very
in the
humid.
90s
It was
right now
90,
and
yeah.
humid.
Yeah.
No, it was probably like 80. It was like 10 o'clock in
No.
the morning.
Okay, but that
But you
day
had
was
been
a
up-
high
okay,
of 91.
so Kyle
I've been
woke
outside
up
since 6.
6 a.m. He brought the rocking chair out
this
as close as
rocking
he
chair.
could to the river on the dock. He had, as Matt pointed out, a stocking hat. A
It
hooded
looked like he just
sweatshirt,
got done snowmobiling.
Adidas pants, wool socks, and slippers that were Sherpa lined.
Uggs. Let's just get to the
Ugg,
point.
yeah.
They were Ugg
Yes.
slippers. So.
Okay. So he had been out there rocking the whole time, just rocking, doing this cardio. Well, we ended up sitting out there chatting till noon. And I said, Kyle, are you okay? I looked at him. His whole face was beet red, like a tomato.
Oh, God. I can't.
He never took off the hat.
We finally got him to take the wool hat off.
Socks, and the rest of us are in swimsuits drinking ice water, and you were burning up.
Do you
And
remember?
that's
Do you
my
remember
slip
too?
it in.
Remember, I was like, oh, I'm sore. And you're like, it's probably because you've been rocking for 5 hours.
Oh, it was. By the time you went in, it was noon, and you were out there rocking from 6 a.m. until noon.
6 hours.
Yeah, so that's my slip it in.
God.
My pull it out is earlier in the day yesterday, we had the most amazing rafting trip down the river. We all got tubes. We all got different types of tubes. Kyle and I got the same type of tube where we just floated and were at the mercy of the river. The rest of the group got tubes where you actually had paddles where you could navigate how you were going to go.
Mhm.
They
Well-
were known as half tube, half kayaks.
Yes. Yeah. What were they called?
Rockets.
Tube Tracker
Tube
Pros.
Tracker
It's a
Pros.
hybrid.
Yes.
Correct.
So I'm getting in. Well, I see everybody's kind of like floating off and paddling away. And I was hoping that we would all kind of stick together and chat and, just have fun talking together. Well, luckily, JJ was so sweet and let me attach to his tube tracker, which was great.
Like a barnacle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as we keep going and we're trying to just chat in different groups, I try attaching to Meghan. She kicked me off of her tube and said, I can't do this. I'm not responsible for you.
Correct.
That was the true crime on the river. That was the
Yes, it
real
was.
crime.
And I said, Megan,
I
I
missed
want
it.
to
I
talk
missed
to you. You
it.
said, that's fine, but I can't manage you and I'm not
Correct.
controlling you.
Didn't
and
she hit you with a
literally
paddle?
kicked
No,
me
I
with
put-
her
I
foot.
took my foot and pushed her tube away
She did.
because I didn't want her attaching
I
to
knew
me.
this.
Oh,
So
boy.
fast
Oh, boy.
forward, our ride or our float was 2.5 hours. And then we get to the point where we exit.
I grabbed you.
You did, Denise.
I did.
And so did Matt. Matt
Thank
let
you.
me
Thank
be a
you.
barnacle on him as well.
You were in a barnacle.
Thank
It was
you.
fun.
I love that. So we're getting to the end though. And 2.5 hours in, we pull up. We're like, okay, here's the dock. Like, here's the place where we all get off the tubes, all of this stuff. So I have no paddle. I have no nothing. So I'm at the mercy of somebody to pull me in to the edge to get on the dock to get out. Megan was the closest one. I went to grab her. Megan pushed me off of her, pushed me away. I went past
No.
the exit and I'm floating well
exit.
past where I was supposed to get off. So I had to jump off the tube and walk upstream to get off my tube to get out.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is a long pull it
This
out.
is.
Really quick. Okay, I finally navigate myself out of the river, come home, take a shower, get all cleaned up, and I'm walking in the house. And Kyle, what happened?
I said, there's something in the back of your leg. Can you
Yep.
come over here and turn around?
Yep.
And it was a leech. It was a small leech.
Yep.
And it had a pretty good suction going on.
Yep. He
But
had to pull a leech off my foot because
we got it
Megan
off.
wouldn't tow me in
So
to the edge.
No.
is your
That's my
pull it
pull it out.
out the leech or Megan?
Both.
Wow.
All right. I
Okay.
have to add some
This
comments.
We don't
is
have
the
time.
longest bullet
I
out.
don't think we have time, Megan. We're going to have
Yeah.
to move on.
Okay. But
No, but I agree, Megan.
it's
Like,
not true facts what are being told.
I was there.
Yeah. But I mean, when you tube, you're
and the
suppo-
current was strong.
But tubing means you have to get in and out of the river. It doesn't mean you have this clean riding experience, which is why I chose the tube track.
I do agree with Megan on that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get on the river and just act like a helpless infant, which was
Correct.
happening.
Exactly.
Which was happening.
And when
Aw.
we had to get to
Aw.
the dock to get out, there were workers there
Yeah,
that could have
there were
helped
people.
her.
well, I heard the worker say to the
Get
other
out.
worker, like, I just bought these shoes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going
They
in."
weren't jumping in, and
He
I
did say it to the worker.
I didn't
I don't
have.
remember that.
They were like young teens.
Yes.
Okay.
And there were only 2 sets of stairs, so I was trying to make sure I got
Yeah,
onto the dock
I was there.
where the stairs were, and I didn't have a hold of the dock when she was whizzing by, and I'm like, I can't help you because I've got to navigate myself.
I feel for both of you. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's all there.
You
But at
said
some
you
point
didn't
you-
want her barnacle to you either.
Correct.
So you know.
Correct. I feel I didn't like it when you kicked her in the face.
I kicked her too and pushed
But
her
at
away.
at the end, when we were getting off, I felt, Missy, that was on you.
Yeah.
You needed to, like, we're all trying to catch the dock.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can't
But-
help others.
Early
But
on,
no soldier
10
left
minutes.
behind.
10 minutes in, when we're just trying to have
no
fun
soldier left.
and
No
behind.
getting
soldier
kicked
left
in the face to
It's more
be
like every man for
disconnected,
yourself.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't a kick in the face. It was a
No.
push on the tube.
As Denise said, don't let the truth
No
get in the
soldier
way of a good story.
Oh,
There we
There you
go.
go.
Denise?
So my slip it in. So I love your lang.
Yeah.
Our
You
Ling and
guys
Yeah,
Lang.
briefs.
speak to each other. It's so much fun.
Mm.
I really enjoyed it. Participate. That didn't really work.
Particip.
I have to
Partic-
practice.
It's particip.
I had to practice and learn the language, but I love it.
Okay.
And also,
Shh.
Megan,
Should we
the
go?
best hostess ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
thank you.
Another year. So fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you, Megan Sussex. And as
Oh.
ever,
Oh, God.
a little
there we
help
go.
with the flower
Stop.
sprinkles and the rosé.
Just say thank you.
All right.
So
And
you
have a-
like the way we talk a little bit with our briefs?
I love it.
Just
Yeah.
for the
It's my
audience, it's
fave.
like it's a little bit of an abrief here and there.
It's
my
an internal language.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's super fun.
Do you have any pull out?
Wow.
I don't have one.
No.
You
It's been
don't?
so great. I just don't have one.
Oh, love it.
I
Sorry,
got
guys.
it.
Oh, and one other. I love this podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
Yeah.
So fun.
We're glad that you're here.
Anytime you need a guest star, we're in.
Yeah, I
Love it.
love that.
you will be welcomed back 100.
100%.
Absolutely.
Whose turn?
All right, I'll go next. So my slip it in is global warming.
Oh, it's supposed
I
to.
can't.
Can I just say for the audience, it's supposed to be shit that happened this weekend. And I
Well,
guess it's happening, but
Somebody's
come
going very
on.
heavy.
I
This
just
is
No,
can't.
I can't. This is going to be about ticks. I swear.
It is.
I knew it.
is.
I knew it.
I'm
Uh,
going on to ticks on
Global
me now.
warming.
yeah.
We came back from a little hike yesterday. I took my shoes off. I had a tick on my foot. Then we started to record this podcast. I looked down. I've got a tick. I tried to push it off my foot, and he was starting to like bite in, and I had to like yank him off. Got him off, thank God. So growing up, we never had tick issues up here. It is a very new issue, and they're rampant, and that is due to global warming.
I got a tick on my neck,
Yeah.
and you had a tick and your
On a foot.
on your foot, and you had a tick and a
Well, not
leech.
here.
Oh,
Just the leech here.
just the leech here.
Yeah.
So
You are right though, because they're in Alaska now too, and they never used to be in Alaska.
They're in
Oh, wow.
Alaska.
Yes.
Wow.
with the Graylings.
All right. Global warming.
Yes. So that is my
Pull it out.
well, that was sorry. I confused him. That was my pull it out. That wasn't my
Yeah.
slip it in. My slip it in is my crazy Rottweiler who thinks he has to protect us from every fly around.
Yeah, that
And
I
he
appreciate- I
constantly-
appreciate.
He is not getting his sleep in that he normally does because all he's doing
He's
is
on guard.
monitoring the air and running and trying to chase after every dragonfly that comes around.
I think it's cute.
It
It's
is
very
cu-
cute.
It's very cute.
He's very perked up and he can't get enough.
He's on patrol.
He is.
It's adorbs.
Yeah.
Very-
Oh,
Oh!
nice. Nice.
It's very big patrolling.
I love
So
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
My
You or me? You.
I'm gonna do it.
You
My
do it.
slip it in is when I went on the hunt for this chair. I did
I love the chair.
after I decided that the chair was not where to be found. I just went in a little solo kayak, and I one of the things that I look forward the most about our time here together is really the conversations that we had. But also, like, I think that we are not
Also, the
appreciating-
silence when
No,
you can get it.
No, I'm saying that we in the world that we're living in, we really not appreciating more the solitude and the nature and the peace that it brings. And
True.
I really enjoyed my 30-40 minutes that I was like just me and the nature. And I know Matty knows this, but not many know. Like, I connect with my mom through butterflies, and there was like a bunch of butterflies around when I was there, and I was just like, it's just like a little conversation that I have with my mom.
so
with-
beautiful.
yeah,
That is
so
so
I
nice.
I love the solitude that this atmosphere brings to me and to my soul. So I love that.
Oh,
My pull it out is that Matty promised me
I
that.
just was supportive. Just so you know. Just so you know, I was very supportive of.
Well,
this.
I was very happy that when we went to New York, he found the best gadget ever. It was a portable bidet. He
Oh,
forgot about it. He did not bring it.
I
Yes,
didn't know that was a thing.
I know.
Best.
I forgot about that.
You feel good about it?
No, he forgot.
Yeah.
Forgot.
So
Forgot
I
about
was
that.
just playing
Forgot.
on it, and I was like, and then next thing I know, when he's unpacking, he's like, "Oh my God, JJ, I forgot the bidet." And I'm like, I am not gonna, he instructed me not to use my dude wipes because of the situation that we
I never
have.
heard of that.
Oh yeah, I have dude wipes, but in the cabin, you should probably not use them.
No. Yeah.
See,
Uh,
I told you to hide
I
those.
didn't.
She will not.
I
accept
didn't.
it.
I
She
didn't
will
use
not.
them when you told me not. Yeah. it
Well,
will
they
clog it.
don't act. They. Can I just? Do you mind, just real quick? Because you
Quick.
brought it up.
Yeah.
Because even if any
Yeah.
wipe that
Different.
says flushable, they don't. They can say that
They lie.
legally, but it
Yeah. It's
not
does.
true.
It doesn't disintegrate. Like toilet paper will
It doesn't
disintegrate-
dissolve.
dissolve.
Yes.
So it is not
Yeah.
flushable.
So I
in
didn't.
the- yes,
Not
and I
biodegradable.
said
So I
to
stay away from
JJ,
it.
I said, JJ, it's okay on night 1, but she's arriving night 2.
No, I didn't. After that, I'm gonna pack the dude wipes, and I'm gonna just live without the portable bidet that Matt forgot. So
Okay.
that is definitely a pull out. It would have been a different weekend with the bidet.
There's something though that passing that portable around This is a little because you got to take it and stick it
I would
underneath
not
it.
have
Yeah, I'm
liked
sure
it.
you wouldn't have, Dad.
All right, that's
All
it.
right,
Maddie.
my turn. All right, my slip it in, and I have receipts. Let me grab my phone. I have receipts. So this this thing that we did, this tube thing that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, afterwards, I organized this group photo, and I got us all.
Best
I
group
got
photo
us
ever.
all in it,
Yeah.
and in the photo,
Perfect day.
just before you get upset, somebody might want to give Missy the mic. She's probably got something to say. Before you even get up and get riled up, notice that I'm calling it a slip it in, not a pull it out. It's a
Okay,
slip it in.
I'm listening.
Okay. So I post this photo. I'm doing a selfie. If you know me, you know I'm not great on it. There's 6 of us, and I managed to capture a pretty great photo, I think.
Perfect day,
And-
you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I put in the photo in a little space that was unoccupied, perfect day, and posted it. And then Melissa gets on later in the evening and says, and I'm reading, this is
Quote.
look,
And you quote.
look, if you're watching on video, I'm reading a receipt. The receipt says, "It was a great day." Great day, not perfect. She says, "It was a great day, exclamation point. Don't want to go so far as perfect, but ... And I read it and I'm like, I gave the wow emoji, like that emoji. And then I said, maybe because you refuse to navigate on your own. I said nav, though, just so you know, Denise. I said
Nav,
nav.
yeah.
Exactly.
Just because you refuse to nav on your own and attach yourself like a barnacle to all of us and made us do all the work. And then
Exactly.
she replied to that with, well, one person got a leech on their foot and 5 people did not. So perfect for some, it's not perfect for all. And I sent a Debbie Downer, wah, wah, wah. And I call it a slip it in because it's a joy. I
It
kind of
speaks
like
to
that.
the friendship that we have.
I mean, I do love it. It's fun. I mean, we're sitting next to each other, sleeping in this cabin, but social
Yeah.
media, playing it out there.
Awesome.
So great.
Awesome.
Very funny. I have no. I will just let you run with it. That was
Awesome.
funny.
Okay.
And you pull out.
My pull it out is we've all been indulging in drinks and stuff. So JJ, you, even though you were drinking in this story I'm telling, we all were drinking. But
Interesting.
JJ and I are sharing a room with 2 single beds, fully separated.
Okay. Here we go.
And I get up to go to the restroom several times a night. The first night, he's a 1 pillow person, which is shocking.
I'm
I
a
like
one
3
pillower.
pillows, 2
Yeah.
pillows at least. So he would put his pillows on the floor, and I'm okay, fine. But like second night, I'm like, I might have drank more. I want to make sure this pathway is clear. So I say to JJ, and Megan was there to witness. I say to
was.
JJ, if you don't mind, I'd like to sit these pillows over here so that my pathway to the bathroom, I don't twist an ankle. Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's like, well, he goes, I like to keep them right here. They are my emotional support pillows. He did. He goes,
Yes.
and
I do squeeze them.
so no, that's not true.
It's a lie.
So all of a sudden, I'm been put into a position. Do I choose my ankle over his emotional support pillows that he has no attachment to that are laying on the floor? It's a pull it out.
I was just playing along.
Exactly. It was crazy.
It was.
But Megan did.
It
put
might
a
have been the
second pillow
cocktails
to me.
talking.
I think you were
100%.
tipsy.
You
I
think?
said, I think you have a little space between the wall
Yeah.
and the bed. Like,
And
let's
I've been
put a
using
pillow
the
here.
second pillow, and
Yeah.
game changer.
So
Okay.
we did a whole refresh of bedding at the cabin this year, and I made sure every bed had 2 to 3 pillows
Per
per
person.
person.
Which I do love.
Yeah.
Well, it has
Me too.
become a very big complaint with my brother and his friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
They said there's too many pillows.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
even if you
I
don't use
disagree,
them,
too.
you use them for emotional support. So on
Correct.
that note,
Just put them on the
Yes.
floor.
let's leave
That's
it there.
it, yeah.
Let's
I
leave
will.
it there.
So
Good job.
in the meantime, until we catch you again on our podcast, check us out on YouTube. You can watch us or get us wherever you get your pods. You can check out our link tree. We'll have all of the products that we discussed there at Slip It In Podcast. You can slip into our DMs. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook, all at Slip It In Podcast. You can email us at slipitinpodcast@gmail.com. And we love a phone call or a text. Reach out to us, 313-444-9004. Until next time.
Bye, folks.